I'm going to share with you a little funk that I went through yesterday, and hopefully you can get something out of it and apply it to your own life. So, yeah, yesterday, after like writing all day and creating a video and doing a bunch of stuff, bunch of creative work, and a lot of sitting, a lot of computer work, and really stretching my mind. And I started to get these feelings, well, not really feelings, but thoughts that were like making me feel off and making me feel frustrated, and it just felt disharmonious, and like I couldn't quite place it. And I took a walk outside and I talked to my friend Dara, and I started expressing how I felt, not really felt, because that's part of it, thinking about how I wasn't really, or I'm not able to relate to most people and things like that. And then also thinking about how controlled humanity is and how controlled planet Earth is. It's because if you really get into the depths of that stuff, it can be overwhelming. So I was expressing all of that, and just walking outside and talking made me feel better about it. But I had this like insatiable desire to just be outside barefoot on the ground. And I'll do a separate video on grounding because it's so important, so beneficial, and so helpful. So I was barefoot on the ground, on the grass, and I've also been doing this thing, I don't even know what to call it. It's like stick twirling. It's almost like what the fire spinners, those fire spinner people do, but without the fire. I'll do another video on that too, because that's really helped me as well. So I was doing that with my bare feet on the ground, and I was also doing some handstands, a workout including handstands. So I was just really getting into my body, grounding myself. And I had this epiphany that everything that I was thinking about and mulling over, the problem was I was caught up here. I was caught in my head. And once I grounded back into my body, then I laughed at myself. Like, all of those things are thoughts. Like, I was creating a story in my head of not being able to relate to people. And I was just cycling through the thoughts of how controlled Earth and humanity is. You know, that's not helpful at all. That's just circuitous thought loops, and it's all like, especially with the mind, because of cognitive biases and all that stuff, it's so easy to deceive ourselves, and it's so easy to create stories in our heads. So once I got back into my body, I had that realization, and I started laughing at myself. I'm like, it's just silly to get hung up over things like that, and it's really hard to get that perspective once you're in it. It's like the fish are the last to be aware of the water. So once you're outside of it, you can look back and you're like, it's just ridiculous that I thought that way. So just grounding myself and grounding into my body really changed my perspective like that. It was amazing how I had that epiphany just by doing a simple thing like grounding barefoot in the grass, doing a little stick twirling, getting my body in motion, and doing handstand practice too. So it really helped, because yeah, the brain, your mind, is important to use, but you can't be a slave to it, because once it's running the show, that's when you get into all of those circuitous thought loops and made up stories and things like that. So it's like, let your intuition, let your heart be your guide. That's why it's so important to get in tune with your body, with feeling, as opposed to thinking. That's why I said before that it was more thinking that's the problem. I didn't really feel that way, but I was just thinking that way. If you really feel things out, that's your true inner compass. And you can get to that point by using your body, by grounding, by doing practices like working out or yoga or dancing, anything like that to get you back into your body and out of your head. So yeah, and then once that happened, I had that little epiphany and laughed at my circuitous thought loops. A message came to me, and I got this it was a repeated message. I got this message when I did a Merkaba activation in Costa Rica, and I had a vision of a tree, and it said to me, "Stay grounded, you already have all of the answers." So that message came back to me, and it hit me like a punch in the face. It was like, stay grounded. You already have all of the answers. So just grounding back into my body, not thinking over things like constantly. That's not going to bring a solution by just mulling over things over and over again. So stay grounded, you already have all of the answers. That's such an important message to me, and I'm getting more and more value out of it, and seeing how incredibly useful that message is. So yeah, I invite you to embrace that message too. Stay grounded, you already have all of the answers. All right, peace, much love, and one love, baby.